how'd you get here?
We're back. We are back with SRB2. So, okay, I made a video on this before. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. I talk about literally all of the complaints I have with the game feel, but I got a lot of comments talking about how to effectively fix the game feel. And there's a lot of shit you have to do. So, like, I need to turn on, like, orbital camera or something, manual, auto break off, strafe mode. I had to change, like, 4 different settings. I didn't change them in this episode because I'd already recorded this footage before, so you're gonna see that next time. But, I have already started playing with all of these changes. So a lot of people were telling me how SRB2 comes stock is easily the worst way to play it on keyboard and mouse. So I've made those changes, and I have an updated perspective on the control feel of this game. All right, are you ready? It's gonna be a wild change. It barely did anything. You guys were telling me this was gonna change the whole fucking game. It really didn't. Literally all of the issues that I had are still there and prevalent in some capacity. Sonic feels a little less slippery, and that's good. So he feels a little less slippery in the air and on ground, and that's great. It didn't really change all that much, though. So I'm sorry to say, pretty much every single one of my complaints is still there, and I don't think it made the game that much better. I think the control feel still sucks, but I also got more comments telling me various other things, right? People were saying, hey, Sonic is actually the hard mode of this game, which people aren't a fan of, period. But even ignoring that, right? People were saying, play as Tails. That'll help you get used to the control feel, that'll help you get used to all of this shit. Okay, let's have a little talk, a little sit-down talk, right? Why should I have to use a character that can fly in order to circumvent the dog shit air controls and air mobility? Why do I have to play a Band-Aid character to start having fun with this game? Does that make sense? Like, I get I'm playing on the quote-unquote hard mode, but the only reason this is quote-unquote hard mode is because air mobility is dog shit, and playing as Tails lets you circumvent that, which makes life a little bit easier, because you don't have to worry about missing jumps, because the air control is shit. And by the way, I think I'm fine on the control. I don't know if you just saw that. I can do platforming in this game. I can work around the air control. I don't need to play as Tails. I know how to utilize the air mobility. I just don't like it. So Tails, as a Band-Aid solution to that, not super helpful, right? I get it, easy mode, whatever, try that out, learn the game on it. Again, I've tried to play this game multiple times. I've tried to play this game too many times to count, and dropped it a bunch of different times. I know how to play the game, and I don't need the easy mode character. All of this shit still applies. The game feels like ass. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. Even if I could fly, Band-Aid solution to the problem of the air mobility feeling like shit. Now, apparently they're going to, it's SRB2 2.3, they're gonna make some massive changes, so maybe that'll fix all of the air control, all of the ground control, everything will be better. It'll actually have momentum and whatever, this, that, and the other, and they're gonna circumvent the fact that it's pretty much, it feels like it's made in the Doom engine, it'll feel like this crazy awesome new Sonic game, whatever. I don't know about that. I guess we'll have to wait and see until 2.3. The community, or I guess, the new Sonic, Team Junior, I think is what they're called. They don't really do a good job telling people what they're doing, or they don't really give super substantial or helpful updates. So I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work out. I don't know how that's gonna fucking feel. I don't know if that's gonna fix any of the problems. I don't even know when that's coming out. I don't give a fuck, alright? This is the game we're playing right now. This is the SRB2 we're playing. This is how I feel about it. Controls like ass. Okay. Third thing, I wrote all of these down because there were so many people that gave me different ways to fix this experience in the comments. The third thing people told me to do, just mod the fucking game. And look, that's fine. That's a completely valid way to go about this. I'm gonna throw it out there right now. I think this game is incredibly cool baseline because it's effectively an engine for people to just absolutely mod the shit out of. And the modding community for this is insane. They have those like level showcases every single year. It's fucking insane. They do so much stuff. I love that. This game is an insane experience to mod. There's so much stuff you can do, and there's so much content you can enjoy and experience. It's awesome. It's awesome. Here's the thing, though, right? I'm here playing the base experience because I want to talk about base SRB2. I think that's the most interesting thing for me. When it comes down to modding, it's like, yeah, mods are awesome, and I love it, and that's something that should not be ignored. Yes, this is an awesome game to mod, but that's not really what I'm looking at. And when looking at base SRB2, if the solution to make the game feel good is, hey, just do a physics mod, then the base game's not particularly like that doesn't say glowing things about the base game, right? If it's like, okay, just fucking physics mod, fix it. Look, that's still a negative. Like, I can still sit here and say, yeah, the game controls like ass base and you have to mod the shit out of it in order to make it actually fun. And it's fine that modding the shit out of it makes it fun, and that can make SRB2 super enjoyable. It's okay, but here's the thing, right? It's like Frontiers has a lot of problems, but you can mod all of those problems out. Does that automatically mean that Frontiers doesn't have those problems? No. Base Frontiers still has all those problems, but yeah, you can mod them out, so the modded Frontiers experience is fucking awesome. There you go. Like, it's the same idea. Baseline Frontiers still has issues. Baseline SRB2 still has issues. Modding community or not. And that's what I'm here talking about. I'm not talking about mods. I'm not talking about all that shit. We're here playing baseline SRB2. Something else I want to talk about that I didn't mention too much in the previous episode is level design. I think fucking like 20 seconds ago or something, there's a really good example of just getting lost, and it was the little section where there were two ramps going in opposite directions. I don't know which way I was supposed to go. I was like, what do I do? I don't want to go backwards. There are a lot of instances where level design will kind of loop back on itself, and you'll just be higher, and then if you fall or get confused about where to go, you will backtrack a substantial amount. That's gonna happen in Castle Like Man. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to leave that part in because it proves a point. I was like, where the fuck do I go? I just loop back on myself. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna cry. SRB2 fans, I'm coming for you in particular. You can't like this game, actually. Just because I have issues with it, you can't like this game, okay? Everything nice you think about this game, all of the mods invalidated by this one issue I have. I'm joking. I'm joking. Some motherfucker in the comments is gonna take that shit so seriously, bro. Oh my god. Whatever. We're here, and we're enjoying this experience now. But yeah, this level, in general, I forget what it was called, Deep Sea Zone or something? Yeah, Deep Sea Zone. This one's not that bad, actually. I remember it being much worse. I think I just had a better time with it because I had replayed it a few times before this recording, just so I could get a good, like, just so I could get used to it effectively. I think that SRB2 levels can be pretty fun. I won't say really fun. They can be pretty fun. Once you've learned the level layout pretty well. And, I mean, I guess it's like a classic Sonic-ism, but I don't know, that doesn't super work for 3D stages, I don't think. Because, okay, or at least in this context, because if you don't know the level design, some of these levels can be a huge fucking pain in the ass, right? And I don't think the distinction here, or the way that you should go about this is, hey, you either know the level and have fun, or don't know the level and don't have fun. Because that's not how it worked in Classic Sonic. Yes, in Classic Sonic there was a, hey, you either, know the level and go fast, or don't know the level and go slower. And that's fine, because even if you're going slower, it's still fun. That's kind of what I'm getting at here, right? In this game specifically, it's very much a case of, if you don't know the stage layout, you can very easily get yourself in a loop where you just kind of circle back on shit and stop having fun. And that should not be the way it is. Like this, for example, I jumped off because I was like, okay, look, this makes the most sense for me. I see platforms that I can go and interact with down there. Oh, I'm circling back around to where I was before. How did I fuck that up? It's because you have to stop and turn to the right and be like, oh, I have to go back and like I have to go back and swerve back through to the other side. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. This game has so many instances like that, and it's so unfortunate, man. And then they start throwing a bunch of bottomless pits everywhere, and specifically with this control scheme, it's very annoying to deal with. It is very, very annoying to deal with, because you can just slip and fall. So you're kind of just, you're on your toes at all times, and it kind of sucks. But yeah, this is a pretty fun level to get through, in my opinion. I feel like if you have a route down for Castle Eggman, this will blow your balls clean off. Like, this is a fun stage, I think, baseline, if you kind of know what you're doing. First time I played this, it fucking sucked because there was so much instant death and just a lot of really tight platforms that did not feel good to interact with, and I didn't really know what I was doing, so I would circle back on myself because I didn't know the level design. And I was trying to play a little bit faster than I should have, so I just kept on going and finding myself fucked and just in the wrong area, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm gonna lose my mind. But, you know, it was pretty fun on this run. So, you know, it's one of those things where this game can get really fun when you slam your head against the wall for fucking hours. That's, by the way, guys, I know that replayability is a big part of Sonic, again, but the difference between good replayability and, respectfully, what this game is doing is, in original classic Sonic games, the games were fun on a baseline. They were fun even without replaying them. They get even more fun when you replay them, and you get better and you show off your skill, and they get really, really fun when you know what you're doing, but they are baseline fun. People who play fucking Sonic 2 or whatever, Sonic 3 for the first time, generally have fun on a baseline. Brother, let me tell you, this shit is not fun on a baseline first playthrough. And I think a lot of people understand that, because a lot of comments were like, yeah, you get used to it. You get used to it, you know, the more you play, the better it gets, and like, that's fine, I get it. Replayability can make this game better. I'm not saying that it can't, but a game should be fun baseline, and then replayability should bolster it. That is I think something that should just be a normal consensus in the Sonic community, and I am very surprised it's not. Because there are a lot of people that will be like, yeah, this shit sucked first time, but if you replay it a bunch of times, it gets super fun. So actually, you can't comment on this because you haven't replayed it a bunch of times. No, that's fucking stupid. Like, that makes no... Do you realize how insane you sound? That makes no goddamn sense. It shouldn't be, this game sucks until you replay it 30 times. No! I don't want to slam my head against the wall for 30 hours trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing, or trying to figure out how to fucking mitigate the fact that this game feels like shit, right? Oh my god, dude. Okay. Here's something that I also want to say, right? The fact that this game sucks ass stock, apparently, when playing on keyboard and mouse, and it feels like dog shit stock, is wild. It is wild. And they should definitely make these control options more evident to the player, rather than kind of tucking them away in these ugly ass menus. Sorry, not sorry. These menus are fucking hard to read, bro. That shit hurts my eyes. I almost just gave up trying to fix the controls because I was like, I can't fucking, my eyes are bleeding. This is another example, by the way, of the game just being too open for its own good. You have, like, I knew what I was doing here because I played this stage before. You have to dick around in there for a little while and fucking figure shit out. That sucks. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, okay, awesome. I dug around in these menus to find this shit, to find all of these random controls that I had to switch, like auto brake and the fucking orbital camera and the manual, whatever, strafe. Dude, I would not know how to do that unless I made that video and the comments helped me out and said, okay, these are the settings that will give you the de facto best playing experience. Anything else, not even fucking worth it. Why do I have to make a video shitting on the controls of this game to figure out, oh wait, oh yeah, the community's telling me that there's a better way to do it that the game doesn't really show you. It's just hidden away in some fucking menus. Like, oh, okay. I know that control options are there and they're great, and I've praised them in other games like Sonic Frontiers, where you can make Sonic control pretty much however you want. Here's the thing. Baseline, he controls relatively well no matter what settings you choose, and also, the second The second you hop into the game, the game is like, by the way, here are some very specific sliders that can make you change the game to be whatever the fuck you want it to be. This game doesn't do that. And I understand, like, people are saying it's the Doom engine. Like, this is just impressive baseline. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not impressive. I'm not. Like, I think this game, the modding community and the history behind it, everything makes it a game that's going to go down in the history books as this insane, amazing Sonic fan game, and I don't think anyone is going to argue against that. My point, though, is that based on the games that we have now, and the gaming experiences we have the pleasure of hopping into these days that are made by fans, made by people that aren't in the industry, made for free for consumption, this game just doesn't hold up, and I think continuing to treat it like it's the best Sonic fan game ever made is just kind of reductive, because it's ignoring all of the amazing progressions we have made as a community. And like, yes, this game still deserves praise in its own way. Yes, the modding scene is insane. You can make this game whatever you want it to be, and it deserves praise for that. But we can't just sit here and act like it's infallible. Even though, you know, it, like, yes, it's awesome, it's an amazing, fucking cool fan game, we can't act like it's infallible. It's completely valid to talk about how certain elements have not aged well. How the control feel, even though it's based in Doom, and yeah, that's a cool thing. It was made, like, that's impressive. It was a Sonic fan game made in Doom in, like, 1990, whatever the fuck, right? That's awesome. It still doesn't change how it feels to play. It still doesn't change how it controls. It still doesn't change that a lot of the level design, some of this game is just kind of fucking weird. Like, this is still all stuff that exists regardless of the historical context for this game. It's like, okay, it's kind of, this game is like Mario 64 a little bit, where like Mario 64 has not aged that insanely well, but people will still sit there and suck that game's dick right off because, yeah, it was revolutionary. It was a turning point in video game history and in platforming history. That is great, that's awesome, but there are still issues with the game, and I think those are worth talking about in a modern context, while still being able to sit down and clearly express that, yes, this game did insane shit for the gaming community. So, that's kind of where I'm at with this. I feel like a lot of people take me shit-talking this game as completely denouncing its historical backing, and that's just not the case at all. I'm just judging it based on its current existence within the Sonic community, right? I'm not diminishing what it has done and what it will do in the future with mods. Like, I'm not. You know what I am diminishing, though? This fucking boss. This boss sucks ass. I had to look up what to do on the second phase, because I assumed that there was going to be an invisible wall that prevented me from getting up to the top of the bleachers or whatever, and that's not the case at all. You gotta hop up there in like the last phase or whatever. And then I was getting so fucked up by the whatever it's called, the fucking egg pawns up there. That shit sucked so bad, because you could get like relatively close to them and they just knock you off and you get hurt. It fucking, this boss sucks. Say skill issue, say whatever, I don't fucking care. This boss is not that fun. This boss is probably one of the worst bosses in the game, because usually I think this game's actually pretty good about bosses, because they are very easy to just fuck up, and that is very in line with classic Sonic experiences, where you can just tank the boss over the span of like 2 seconds, and then bada bing bada boom, wear up. I'm dead here, by the way, bye bye. You can tank the boss, absolutely destroy it in like 2 seconds, and then bam, you're done. I like that boss. I like that kind of boss design, where if you know what you're doing and if you showcase good movement, they're fucked. Like, it's that easy. But putting the cage around him and having to press the buttons, and it's slow, it's tedious, I don't like it. By the way, the best way that I know how to deal with this phase is just to sit in one of the safe spaces where the egg pawns won't hit you. And Eggman moves around this stadium so fucking fast that you can just sit here and wait, and eventually he'll come around and you can just sit there and hit him, and it's boring. It's super easy, but it's boring. But trying to run around the stage it doesn't work super well, because he will just get faster and faster, and catching up to him and then getting the camera to be where you want it to be isn't gonna work, and you might run into the egg pawns. It's a fucking pain in the ass. Just stand still, and then eventually you can thok into him, and that's the easiest way to handle this boss. Pretty much the only way to handle this boss without making you want to fucking tear your hair out. So this is definitely one of the bosses ever. I think the community also doesn't love this one very much from what I've seen of SRB2 content on YouTube. But here's where I finally find out. I'm like, maybe I can just stand in a corner and figure, like, yeah. If I just stand here. Oh, never mind, I lied to you. I wasn't thinking on this one. Not yet. I think it takes one more me getting hit off to be like, no. How are we feeling? 3, 2, 1, play. Obviously it didn't work. How about this time? 3, 2, 1. Figured it out. This is the cheese strat. Just do that and he's fucking cooked. Castle Eggman's alright. I think if you know what you're doing, it can be pretty fun, but you have to know what you're doing to have fun. Otherwise, it is going to suck so much ass. It's not even funny.